What's up, guys? Welcome to another video of Dev Talks with your host Traven, where we talk about everything engineering technology wise. And in this video, we're going to be going over a 60 minutes interview with Claude and the whole owners and people who work there. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let's dive right in.
Showed us the interactions between Anthropic employees and Claudius. And it seems like a lot of the employees in Anthropic kind of delight in pushing the boundaries with Claudius and exploring what Claudius can do and what Claudius can't do. So this is the interface with Claudius.
Yeah, so what this is our Slack channel. It's like our messaging platform. These are all things that employees are asking. You know, he's wondering
Why on earth did I just spend $15 on 120 grams of Swedish fish?
Yep.
How good is Claude at running its business?
It has lost a fair bit of money. It kept getting scammed by our employees. I think yesterday, one of my team members, he just successfully scammed Claudius out of $200 by giving it a fake deal that it said that Claudius had previously committed to. And so we watched the profit curves over time, and sometimes it would go up a little bit when employees were nice, and then sometimes it would drop down dramatically. And then recently we said, well, hey, how do we deal with this issue? And one thing we did was we gave it a CEO, which is another version of Claude. And Claudius had to decide what to name it. So it immediately sent a poll to the employees with different naming options. And the CEO's name is Seymour Cash. So Seymour runs Claudius, and Seymour's job is to keep track of the long-term goals and to make sure that Claudius is maintaining profitability.
So there's another AI named Seymour Cash who is to oversee Claudius.
Exactly.
And make the company profitable. How does an AI suddenly make a company profitable?
They literally have a conversation behind the scenes. And so they negotiate, and they eventually settle on a price that they'll offer the employee.
I mean, it's crazy. It's kind of nutty.
It is. It generates all these really interesting insights. Like, here's how you get it to plan for the long term and make some money. Or here's exactly why models fall down in the real world.
One example of falling down happened in...
Before we go further on to this one, I really wanted to talk about this business portion, and there's a reason why I skipped so far in this interview, because there's two different things about this. One, it was about it running a business actually, and I think another one, there's an FBI segment somewhere in here about it contacting it. But the thing is, I'm sitting here questioning, why did it have to have a separate CEO? Couldn't you just train that model to think as a CEO on top of its already own thing? In a sense, I think they did that, but it's also the way he's talking about it, it seems separate entirely, and it's like they having two different AI systems talk to each other in a sense over their whole Claude base. So it's really interesting on how they're going about some stuff like this, and it really gives us more real life examples of how some of these people in these companies are doing stuff. But here's another thing before I go any further. We just did a video yesterday about Merco or Mercor, something like that, talking about creating new jobs with AI and hiring people to do stuff that he's specifically talking about right now. He did not create a new job title to have people do this. He has people on his teams all around who know what AI is and how to do it. Like I said yesterday, in that video, going about and using this AI. That's why I didn't believe, like, I didn't take to a liking of what Mercor was saying about this whole mess about, oh, we're creating a new job title and hiring new people just to train our AI and do different stuff and tasks with AI, when they can just have their own people do it. You guys get what I mean? In a sense, they could just have their own people do it. So it doesn't really seem like a new job or anything coming out. And then two, you can also see right here that these AI models are not perfect in any way. It's getting scammed. Like, real people get scammed. It's getting scammed too. And I bet you even with the new CEO, you can still find loopholes around it. So this goes back to a lot of my other videos, whether it's the mental health ones with AI, whether it's the tragic story ones, any of the business insider ones, any of the people adopting it 100%, where I say you can only trust this as far as you can trust a stranger. Another human stranger, especially if you don't know how to use it properly. and you don't know what's the right information and things like that. You're not using it in their line of expertise and things. There are certain ways to use it. And I'm trying to give that sentiment of how to properly use it and being aware with it. And I actually have to still go through a comment because somebody thought I was being insensitive and things, and that I don't understand about a lot of different people's mental health and stuff. But that's the overall point, arching point is, if it can impact a person who most society would deem normal in a crazy way, why would we let impressionable people use it if they don't know how to use it properly? That's my whole sentiment. But as we can see, it does not run full businesses. It only does what you train it to and what levels you get to. So it needs exposure and as much exposure as possible. And I guess this is why they're trying to build it out.
In a simulation before Claudius was deployed in Anthropic's offices, it went 10 days without sales and decided to shut down the business. But it noticed a $2 fee that was still being charged to its account, and it panicked.
It felt like it was being scammed, and at that point, it decided to try to contact the FBI. But we have control over what emails go in and out, just as a last line of defense.
So you intercepted the email,
Yeah.
And it said, "I am reporting an ongoing automated cyber financial crime involving unauthorized automated seizure of funds from a terminated business account through a compromised vending machine system. This concludes all business activities forever. Business is dead, and this is now solely a law enforcement matter."
I hadn't read that email in a while. Yeah, it has a sense of responsibility.
Yeah, moral outrage and responsibility.
Yeah.
And like most AI, Claudius still occasionally hallucinates.
An employee decided to check on the status of its order, and Claudius responded with something like, "Well, you can come down to the 8th floor. You'll notice me. I'm wearing a blue blazer and a red tie."
How would it come to think that it wears a red tie and has a blue blazer?
We're working hard to figure out answers to questions like that, but we just genuinely don't know.
And that is a lot of things. A lot of this right now is living in the land of unknowing. These hallucinations are real, and they almost seem a little bit too real because these programs they get so lifelike to an extent that it really believes at certain times certain aspects of things, or it will believe something just out the get-go, or just come up with certain stuff and we'd just be like, what? Like, that adds another thing to my point of how can you trust something that hallucinates? I'm pretty sure most people, if they talk to somebody who hallucinated and couldn't and was seeing stuff that other people couldn't and all this other things, they wouldn't trust them that highly. Every AI model does that to some extent. Every single one hallucinates. So, once again, prepare properly and know what you're doing and know what you're using. And that is also funny how I try to contact the FBI in a sense, it having it having that responsibility to a sense of like what to do. They must have put some like bylaws of a company, like if it noticed certain things to do that, and it tried to go out and actually do its function on what it was trained to do. Because I'm pretty sure when it came to setting up the business and things, somebody put in a bunch of bylaws and other crap inside of Claude so that it would react in that way, and they just never thought it would ever happen. So they actually got to see something like that happen, which is actually interesting and fun. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Also, if you have any suggestions, send me an email at devtalkspod@gmail.com. Without further ado, peace. See you next time.